Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with a set of videos I haven't been back to for a while, and was called the Arcade Project, where I was working towards building up an arcade, a set of arcade machines to recreate my, my arcade of choice from back in the day. The machines has developed a little organically, and these videos will be in no particular order. So there'll be things that I've gotten before this particular one that I haven't done a video on yet, but I'm going to try and video chronicle them from now on. So just the other day, a local mate of mine rang me up and said at our local tip shop was the article that you can see before us. So it looks like quite a, an old, bit of a tacky cocktail cabinet, and you're probably not going to be able to see the details very good because the glass has been replaced by a bit of perspex, which is itself very marked and everything like that. But underneath this, oops, sorry for knocking the camera, I'll take the perspex off now because I've already taken that off, is a Sega Galaxian. And yes, I said a Sega Galaxian. So this is an officially licensed Galaxian game, because Sega used to use the Galaxian main board to produce some of their early titles, like, I know one of my favourites, Moon Crester. So this is the cabinet's obviously, hasn't seen, it's obviously seen a lot of use over the years. It's had these security bolts fitted, which I will remove. These controls seem reasonably original, although I'd say these is a replacement button. So on that control panel it's got TA-1107. This is an indication as we go around. Now this top, once I've taken the perspex off, is not too bad condition. There's a couple of screws protruding here from this bolt, which if I remove and push down again to this, and this sort of like the rubber that keeps the glass away from the table a little bit is gone in a couple of places, but I can replace that. And do my intentions now. This is a Galaxian cabinet. It is quite rare. There's not many of them around. It looks like it's from Japan, and I'll show you the theory behind that in a minute. And I would like to restore it as is. There's nothing wrong with Galaxian as a game. It's one of my favourites from back in the day, and I'd like to, treat this cabinet and get it back to its original. So this part of it, I reckon, will clean up quite nicely with a new set of glass. Obviously there's some nicks here, there's going to be some holes when I remove some components, but I should be able to mask those. And then the bottom part of it, which does have some slight structural damage, I think I should be able to get back pretty new. It's basically just a black base. The legs are a bit rusty and things like that. Okay. I'm using a tripod because people complain that my hands shake too much when I do these sort of things. But it does mean I'm restricted on how much I can move things around. So going in there, as you can see, it's an official Sega cabinet. I am going to have to take this off. Okay. So it is very hard to see. Serial number is 27274. I don't think it's going to come up on film. 240 volt, 50 hertz. So it was made for this region as far as Sega was concerned. That's the coin return slot. As you can see, this side is pretty tied. These are not the original legs. There's another set of leg holes there that look more original, so this has been added on. Legs have been replaced or adjusted, perhaps. As you can see, the legs are probably in pretty bad condition, but I might be able to etch them away. We have the coin collection door has been reversed, probably because this key was lost, but I should be able to neaten that up. Obviously a bit of rust on some of the inside things here, and a bit of woodwork here. That's the original key for getting inside. Coming around to the other side, obviously missing joystick knob, bit of control panel gone there, and a bit of wear and tear. As you can see, it's definitely not the original buttons because it intrudes over the fire there. These might be the original buttons here, player 1 and see Japanese player 2, and coin slot. Interesting enough, they are both wired up to the same thing inside. And we've got our hinges. It has a screen. The screen is actually working. Currently, as it stands, the PCB is not firing up. I'll open this up. So it's got a little stopper thing here. Okay. So the screen does actually display a picture. As you can see, I haven't cleaned that at all yet. And it does have a 240 volt power supply in there. That's our credit micro switch. That's what I was talking about with the 1 and 2 player credits. You've got a bit of a mangled coin return thing to drop down into the coin box down the bottom. Just a little bit of rust and things like that. There's that original top lock. We've got a test switch here. And I'll just, sorry, I put my knee in the way. And actually it's quite nice, it has a side service board for the PCB, and here's the PCB. So it is actually a Sega manufactured Galaxian board, base Galaxian board, that is actually playing Galaxian. Now somebody has done their own little cap replacements here and hasn't really been very careful about where their cords are crossing. I'm going to replace the lot of those. So I'll take all of those out and replace them. We've got another cap here, a bit of damage, and a lot of these caps are actually looking very pasty and things like that. I'm just going to get a bag of the same ones, especially some of these ones near the RAM here. They've been knocked around and stuff like that. This cap here has been damaged, 2200. And that looks like one of the main power one here. Here's the 2 diodes, they look okay. So I reckon I can get this back up and running. There's a little bit of, somebody's repaired that there before. So I reckon totally, perfectly salvageable, but just might take a little while to figure out what's wrong. But I reckon if I replace most of those caps, because I won't know which one's working and which one's not, and you might as well, any ones that have got a little bit of damage, you might as well replace. Get them all up to the same voltage rating and at the same time. And you have this daughter board here which has got the actual game ROMs on. They're all covered. Now I found a blog on one of the arcade sites talking about it, and I am not 100% sure whether it's this precise one, because there are the other 2 people in Australia that have piped up to owning one of these have actually already commented on a post I made on a local arcade group. So there are currently 3 known ones amongst those circles in Australia of these. The rest of the cabinet's not too bad. It's got an extra fan installed there. I won't know whether the sound and everything work until I get the board up and running a bit more. So it is the start of a new project, and I fully intend to restore this as much as possible to its original condition. So obviously you need to replace these buttons, they don't sound too good. Joystick's not too bad, it only needs to go left and right, so I might be able to salvage both of those, just get a new knob for the other one. Obviously remove all this hardware from the old locks, and even though this is wood grain, I might be able to patch this up and get it looking a little neater. Obviously paint all the bottom. This side is a bit damaged, as you can see there. But actually by redoing the legs a little bit and gluing that and clamping that, I might be able to fix that as well. So I think this is all totally salvageable. So I am just going to record these and release them as I do them. I have another couple of projects on the go. I'll put another one together of the other project that I'm doing, another cocktail cabinet shortly, and my other project, so cocktail cabinet, my original potato Clean Skin Cocktails over there. It's never had a game in it. That's going to be my Space Pilot Time Pilot one, and the one over there that says latest game, sitting next to this NBA Jam, which is not mine, just babysitting that, is actually a Nintendo cabinet, and it's a Space Firebird. So I'll do another video about those ones soon, but this is, you know, my arcade, home arcade is starting to come along nicely. Alright, I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.